Good morning. Welcome to Ramblings with Joe. I have notes. I don't usually have notes. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, but I felt like I needed notes for today because I get a little bit distracted when I'm doing something that I consider a little bit more important than just the normal rambling. So let me frame this up a little bit. Last night, the wife and I were sitting on the couch before bed, and welcome to 2025, I guess. We were cruising YouTube, just checking videos out. I have some subscriptions to some channels that I enjoy on YouTube. A couple political cats, a couple news, and then I just gotta cruise around. I gotta admit, there's a lot of cat videos that we both enjoy. I think I enjoy them more at this point than she does. But we have a couple cat videos that we like to indulge in. And then we just kind of sit and talk, and if something catches our eye, then we'll watch it. Well, last night I saw Sinead O'Connor pop up in my feed. I'm like, well, that's weird. So I remember having quite a bit of anger at her as a younger Catholic and her political stance, and how she took music that I enjoyed and she turned it into something that was a reminder of the strife. There's that word again. In the world. Up until that point, until I realized who she was, the song, her big hit, Nothing Compares to You, I really enjoyed it. And then from that point on, I couldn't enjoy it because it reminded me of that particular sense of anger that existed between people. So I clicked on the song. It was Danny Boy, and she sang it. And this was obviously something from either the late 80s or early 90s. I'm not sure. She was very young, and I was reminded of how great her voice was. This was a very non-produced video. It was in the old style TV. I think you could see the lines in the screen, and she was holding a microphone, and there was a bit of popping when she said her P's and T's, and the S's were a little bit, but her voice was just as pure and just as sweet as I remembered. And the song Danny Boy, always one of my favorites, very, very emotion-evoking song. And my wife and I sat and we were quiet through the whole song and enjoyed it. And that got me to thinking, there is beauty in the world. There's beauty even in the darkest corners of the world. And there's beauty where you least expect to find it. And oftentimes when we're not looking for it. And is it okay to admire the beauty in the midst of ugliness? Another example that came to mind while I was meditating last night, Michael Jackson. So there's a little bit of distance in time between us and the Michael Jackson controversy. I grew up listening to Michael Jackson songs, early Michael Jackson songs, ABC, Easy as 1, 2, 3, etc. This is all the way up until he was the uncontested king of pop. And then all of the rumors started, and there's a documentary that you can watch. I think it's on Netflix. Not 100% sure on that. It is disheartening, to say the least. Is it okay to listen to Michael Jackson songs? There's beauty in Michael Jackson's songs. And that led me to think about Harvey Weinstein. This is a very bad, convicted bad man. Is it okay to watch the movies that he was a part of, that he produced, that he had his hands in? Django Unchained, one of my favorite movies. Kill Bill. This is all subjective, obviously. These movies are violent movies, but they are art. And by its definition, art has beauty. Is it okay to watch these movies? There were a lot of people involved in both Michael Jackson and Harvey Weinstein. There's a lot of people involved in the productions of these artistic pieces. Is it okay to watch these? Is that all right? Then I thought about some movements that I had away from some artists that I have to rethink. Dixie Chicks. I was very angry with the Dixie Chicks because they badmouthed our president while they were in a foreign land. So, a foreign land, whenever I think about being overseas or in a foreign land, I think of immediately the military. And the military, because I was in the military and I was in some very foreign lands, as far as Korea, Okinawa, the Philippines, etc. And indeed, he's the commander-in-chief. At any rate, at that point I was very angry and I stopped listening to the Dixie Chicks. I have a very eclectic taste when it comes to music. I go from, one of my favorite artists, that doesn't matter. So I stopped listening to Dixie Chicks. Okay. What about the Cranberries? There's beauty in that voice. When she sings, there is no doubt. Zombie, it's phenomenal. But her political stances were well known. The people who don't agree with her political stance, do they not listen to her? Do they not listen to the Cranberries? And then I thought, well, what about Christmas songs? Is it okay to listen to Christmas songs if you're an atheist? I mean, how far do we take this? How far? We can find beauty in the ugliest of places. During World War I, there was an impromptu truce broke out in the trenches, and opposing sides that were trying to kill each other got together and celebrated Christmas. Man, if that's not beauty, I don't know what is. In the middle of a war. I'm not sure how much of that's true as far as that truce. I know the truce happened, the impromptu truce, and it was World War I. It did not happen in World War II as far as I can find out. But there's beauty. And are we to ignore the beauty in the parts of life that we don't have an appreciation for? Obviously, no one appreciates war, but Sinead O'Connor, she gave me bad feels. She gave me really, really bad emotional. And I've grown since then. I can see her point of view. I don't appreciate how she expressed her point of view, but I can see it. The question is, can I enjoy her songs? And the answer is, last night, the answer was yes. This very amateurish production of Danny Boy by Sinead O'Connor was heart-touching. It really spoke to me. And further, it got me to thinking, which I suppose is really what the efforts of most artists are, is to get you to thinking. I have my birthday tax, paid my car fees. So that's my thoughts for this morning. Not sure if that was enjoyable for anybody but me, but I definitely went down that road yesterday. And my conclusion was, yeah, I can enjoy a Michael Jackson song. I can enjoy the Dixie Chicks. I can enjoy Sinead O'Connor. I will watch Django Unchained again. I will watch Kill Bill. If Harvey Weinstein had anything to do with the movie I'm watching and I'm enjoying the movie, well, I'll be supporting all the other actors, actresses, production managers, the whole crew. There were a lot of people involved in these movies. There were a lot of people involved in the songs that I've mentioned. A lot of these people are past and gone that I had problems with. And I think that distance in time also allows us to revisit and reappreciate art. I'm not a big, how do you say it? I'm not a big fan. Nah. I don't look at paintings and admire them the way some people do, but I'm sure there are some paintings by some very ugly people in the world that are beautiful. And I'm sure if I saw one and I didn't know who it was, I could admire its beauty. But I'm not a patron of the painted art. So this morning, actually last night, here's a second subject. Last night, a person on one of the social medias that I follow, let's call him Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, mostly because that's his name. Mr. Smith made a comment about jury duty being against the 13th Amendment. It's forced labor, forced servitude. I had never thought about that. I was taught in school that jury duty is your civic duty. You do it because you should. Well, he got me thinking first thing this morning, because, well, evidently thinking is what I do now in the mornings. They pull the applicants, I don't know what you would call a juror who's not a juror yet, nominees, they pull them from the voter rolls. Looking back over my history with people, I think I know a few people who don't register to vote because they don't want to do jury duty. So jury duty is also actually a deterrent to voting. I wonder if that's designed or not. It's something to think about. Is jury duty, should that be unconstitutional? And the more I thought about what he said, the deeper I thought about it, gee, on its face, I think it might be. Do I think you should do jury duty? Yeah, I think it is your civic duty. And not because the government demands it, but because there's a fellow citizen whose a very life, or at least life as he knows it or she knows it, in question as to how they live it or if they live, depending upon your state and the death penalty you have. It's your duty to do it. Should it be forced? I don't think it should be forced now that Mr. Smith has pointed this out to me. I don't think it is constitutional. We shouldn't be forced into service that we don't want to do. I think that there should probably be enough people in this country of over 300 million people to rise to that occasion, to do that duty. If I'm called for jury duty, I will go. I will serve. I guess I'm being forced to, but honestly, I would do it because it is my civic duty to my fellow citizen. And I would do it happily. I've been called twice. Both times it was canceled. I don't know why. But I have been called twice. I didn't stop voting because of that. So, but yeah, I think that's probably forced servitude. Anyway, that was just a second thought I had this morning. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you can find some beauty even if you're stuck somewhere in ugliness. I hope that you can look around and see something beautiful, hear something beautiful, experience a beautiful emotion, enjoy life on some level, be inspired by some art, find beauty where there might not be any obvious. And I hope you find peace, love, and dream. Until next time, ciao.